everyone, and welcome to Big Rodge Talks Hardball. I'm Roger Wilkinson, and today we're going to talk about some of the excerpts from my book I'm in the process of writing. And I feel like it's very important that we try to educate parents and their kids on the process of developing youth baseball players, because what I'm seeing across the board is a lot of bad information being distributed day to day, and people just really don't understand what they need to do with their kid when it comes to prepping him for higher level baseball down the road. And that's if your kid's 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, 11, 12, or on down the road. And so today I'm just going to talk a little bit about the 12-year-old superstar player. There aren't many of these guys out there, but on occasion I do come across this great 12-year-old player, and the pitfalls of being that guy are remarkable, and the success rate all the way to the professional level sometimes is quite puzzling, because a lot of these guys that are great at 12 for some reason don't do as well down the road. So and there are a lot of reasons for that, and I'm going to talk about a few of those today so that we can sort of, gear ourselves to the way we think about how we treat these guys and what they need to do at the next level. Now, and just straight out of my book, this 12-year-old superstar athlete, these are tricky because the failure rate for these guys is off the charts. Usually every town or city there's this one kid that's a phenom at 12. He's stronger, faster, bigger, more muscular than everyone in his age group. I've been fortunate to have coached a few of these guys in my time. The best one I ever coached was a kid named Jamal Cummings at 12 years old. He was the most gifted athlete I'd ever coached at the age of 12, and that included 4 guys that ended up going in the first round of the MLB draft. There was nothing Jamal couldn't do as a 12-year-old. He had more power than everybody that you would see. He broke the AAU World Series record for most homers in the tournament. And not only did he hit them over the 250-foot fence that was regulation for age 12, he hit them over the 300-foot fence, which was every home run he hit that week went over the second fence. So it was pretty amazing. Even he even lined up for autographs in the hotel after our games. Kids were just amazed at the things he could do. He ran a 6.8060 at 12 years old, which was pretty incredible. That 6'8" average major league speed, and he threw the ball almost 80 miles an hour, 78, 79, 80 miles an hour at 12 years old. And he was just an incredibly gifted athlete. He was the best player everywhere we went, and there was only one other player that I saw in the Southeast that was just as gifted up in Atlanta, and those two guys, I'll tell the story about them in just a minute. But it was amazing watching Jamal play as a 12-year-old. It was quite a joy as a coach to coach a guy that could do everything as well as he could. It was just some phenomenal play that he possessed. He fielded a ball one time in a backhand off his knees in left field and threw the guy out at first base on those short bases back then. I think we were playing 50-70 at the time with 12U. So if you're the parent of one of these guys, there are a lot of pitfalls out there. First of all, everybody in the world is telling you how good your son is, and that he's destined for the major leagues and all of these things. Secondly, everybody in the world wants your kid to play for them. And thirdly, you're going to get a lot of attention and a lot of pats on the back. And so here's what I'm going to warn you. And if you have a child like this, first of all, find some people you can trust. You're going to get pulled in a lot of different directions. Find a coach or a group of people that you can trust, that really can coach at a high level, because your kid's got these gifted skill sets and abilities, God-given abilities, and you got to get the best out of them. So what I would do is trust someone and stick with them. Secondly, I would really stay focused on what we were trying to accomplish. Now, most of the time, these guys play 2 or 3 sports, which is fine. Once they get to high school, they're going to get pulled now by all of the coaches and all of the different AAU and the travel baseball and the football and the whole bit. So you really, once he gets to high school, you got to really zero in. Because, again, the success rate for these guys has not been really high. And the reason is like they get pulled in a lot of directions. They usually are the best athletes, and usually like they don't understand failure because they never have failed. Everything is so easy for them. It's hard to get them to motivated to train to get better. Okay, so you have to figure out a way to keep them motivated to train to get better because they are so far ahead of everybody else. They don't see the need, and that's the common way the way people think. So what I'm going to try to tell you is you got to keep pushing them. So, and another thing you got to do, and you really need to understand is, look, the accolades are great. They're temporary. Let them understand, hey, you're way ahead of everybody right now, but at some point, these guys are going to be just as big and just as strong as you are. And that happens by the time they're 16 and 17 years old, everybody starts catching up. So once they catch up, all your skill sets, is your mental game going to play. All right, your God-gifted skills are going to carry you to XYZ level, maybe all the way to the big leagues. But at some point, the field's going to be equal, and everybody's going to have the same relative skill sets. So I would keep them focused on what they're doing and keep them working hard, and let them get as much technical knowledge as they possibly can because they already have the athleticism. All right, and because what happens many times is these guys, they go on and they play. In high school, and they're such a good athlete, they get signed by a college, and they get to college and they get lost because their skill sets aren't up to speed with some of these guys that weren't as good coming up and had to really work at being a mastermind of skill sets. And so they've been getting away with playing on athletic ability this entire time. And now once the skill sets and athleticism all kind of comes together in college, it's tougher. All right. The pitchers are skilled, the hitters are skilled, the defenders are skilled, and it becomes harder for the pure athlete just to keep advancing. But now, if these guys do develop skill sets and they do keep advancing, then a lot of times they end up in the major leagues. If not, then they end up washing out because you have to have it all to play in the big leagues. You have to be very skilled to make it to that level. And so in Jamal's case, he went to high school, football player, very good running back, is a prospect in everything he does. And he actually got away from baseball. He played, I think, his freshman year and maybe did not play his sophomore year, then came back his junior year and tried to play again. Well, his skill sets had diminished. And so it took us a little bit of time to get him back up to speed. And he was a good high school player. He hit, 7 home runs per season, just a great athlete. And he went on to junior college and did well. And he went to Augusta University and played at a Division II level and had a fine career there. Now, what could have been to me was probably he could have been a major league player at some point, but he got bogged down in high school trying to, he tried to play football too, and he had a neck injury and got banged around, and he left baseball for a year, and that year of development probably cost him down the road long term. Great kid, one of the best kids I've ever coached, very humble, and just a all around great guy. And if I ever have a regret in my coaching career, it was probably not pushing him to baseball harder and making sure that he had a chance to play after college, and because he definitely had the tools. So if you're a parent of one of these kids, get laser focused, keep pushing them, don't let them settle because everything is easy for them, and let them understand, hey, you're only 12. All these guys are going to catch up to you now in the next 5 years. And so you've got to keep working to stay in front of them so that when you're 17 and this playing field gets equal, your skill sets and your athleticism are going to carry you well into the next level. I hope you guys enjoyed our little chat today. Hey, man, we got this book's coming out. I'm looking forward to working with some folks on the book. And also, got some great news coming down the pike. Big Rodge Baseball is going to launch where you can get information. I'm trying to help parents and players get a better understanding of what it takes to be a great baseball player at the next level. You guys have a great day. It's almost Turkey Day. Let's get ready and let's get back to work. Remember, no days off. See you later.